Here is what a woman feels in your absence, psychology tricks. Absence sharpens love, presence tests it. Thomas Fuller. You often learn more about a woman when you step back than when you stay close. When you're always there, texting, calling, showing effort, she feels secure. There's nothing to question. Your attention becomes normal. Your consistency becomes expected. But when that presence fades even a little, her mind reacts, because what disappears is often felt more than what remains. Your absence reminds her of a truth that's easy to ignore. You are not guaranteed. This isn't about games or manipulation. It's about knowing your value. When someone believes you'll always be there, appreciation can fade. That's human nature. Step back, and perspective returns. If she cares, your silence bothers her. If she doesn't, she replaces you quickly. Either way, you get clarity without chasing answers. Women don't miss what they don't value. They don't worry about losing what they don't respect. So when you stop chasing and stop giving attention so freely, emotions surface: confusion, curiosity, even regret. Because sometimes a man's absence says what his effort never could. I won't invest where I'm not appreciated. 1. Confusion? Why did he change? When you step back and your voice goes quiet, the first wave that reaches her is confusion, that soft, restless whisper that asks, why did he change? And no matter how cool she looked, no matter how distant she seemed, no matter how uneven the energy felt, she noticed you, because women don't overlook effort. They simply tuck away how much it warms them. So when that effort fades, her mind lights up like a room with the switch flipped, scanning for meaning, building questions, searching for patterns, because that is female psychology at work, not magic, not drama, just a heart trained to read shifts in tone and timing. And suddenly she's thinking, why is he quiet? Did something happen? Is he upset? Did I miss a sign? Why isn't he texting? And don't tell yourself she won't notice. She will. Be honest, you change the rhythm, and rhythm matters. She may have expected you to always start the conversation, to always be available, to always lean in first. So when you don't, when you remove that steady beam of attention, the difference lands heavy, not as simple curiosity, but as a pinch of insecurity, because absence doesn't just remove sound, it creates space, and space invites thoughts to run. That is when silence becomes louder than every sweet word you ever sent, and most men think the little things vanish into thin air. But they don't. Not to her. She sees when you stop liking her posts, when replies slow down, when you don't ask about her day, when your concern feels thinner, and even if the change looks small to you, to her it feels like a door moved in the dark. And here's the truth you must remember. If she didn't care at all, there would be no confusion, only relief. But confusion means your presence carried weight, more than she ever admitted. So she watches, not always with a message, but with quiet attention, checking if you viewed her story, if you were last active, if you're online but not replying, if you posted something new, because the mind wants clues, and that confusion can sharpen into irritation, a little spark that says, why does he think he can pull back? Did he lose interest? Is there someone else? And don't mistake that irritation for indifference. It is proof of emotion, proof that you mattered. Some women hold their pride close and wait, others break the silence and reach out. But either way, confusion is the first crack in the wall. The moment she realizes your presence was not guaranteed. And now she has to face the idea that maybe, just maybe, she took you for granted. And be clear, this isn't about playing games. It's about understanding how connection breathes, because when attention is steady, it becomes the background. But when it's gone, the room feels colder. And that's one of the simplest psychology tricks you'll ever learn. Not to control, but to understand that human hearts respond to contrast, to shifts, to the feeling of something missing. And you must know this, not to disappear forever, but to value your presence and the way it shapes emotion. Because confusion is the doorway to reflection. She starts replaying moments, rereading messages in her head, remembering the way you showed up, and that memory gives your absence a voice. And don't rush to fill the silence if you truly want her to feel it. Be steady, be calm, be grounded, because steadiness carries more power than constant noise. And in that quiet, she learns that attention is not endless, that connection is earned, that effort has meaning, and this is where how to fall in love quietly lives, not in grand speeches, but in consistency, then contrast, then reflection, because love grows when someone realizes the space you filled, and that is why confusion is not a small thing. It's the mind opening a new file, labeling it with your name, and flipping through every page. And yes, this is female psychology again. The art of emotional analysis, pattern finding, story building, not to trap herself, but to understand what she feels, and don't assume she'll say it out loud. Many won't. They'll carry it quietly, but inside, the gears turn, and every pause from you adds another question mark, another reason to wonder, another nudge toward missing you. And here's the deeper layer. You must respect this moment, because if she feels confusion, it means your absence is already working, not as a trick, but as a mirror, showing her what your presence meant. And this is one of those psychology tricks that sounds simple but runs deep. Remove what was steady, and the heart measures the gap. And in that gap, feelings grow clearer. And don't turn this into coldness. Turn it into clarity. Know when to step back and when to step forward. Because balance is what builds attraction that lasts. And be the man who understands timing, who values silence as much as speech, who knows that effort matters most when it is chosen, not assumed. And when she finally reaches that point, when confusion softens into awareness, she begins to see you not as a constant background note, but as a melody she misses. And that realization is the quiet bridge to how to fall in love again, not with force, not with pressure, but with presence that is felt even when it's gone. And remember, if your absence stirs her, if it nudges her to check, to wonder, to reflect, then you mattered more than she ever showed. And that is the power of understanding hearts, of reading female psychology with empathy, not judgment, and of using psychology tricks wisely, not to manipulate, but to respect the way emotions move. Because when a woman feels confusion about losing you, it's not the end. It's the beginning of seeing your value, and you must never forget that. 2. Curiosity, what is he doing without me? After confusion fades in, curiosity steps forward, quiet but sharp, because when your presence disappears, she doesn't just move on. She starts paying attention in silence. And don't assume silence means peace. It often means focus. She may not text you. She may not ask you directly. But her mind begins to search for answers like a lantern in the dark, scanning every corner for a reason. Because women need to know. They need to understand why the energy changed, why the rhythm broke, why the tone feels different. And when she can't figure it out, she watches you more closely than ever, wondering, is he talking to someone else? Is he happier without me? Why does he look so unbothered? Did he move on already? And be clear, even if she once acted like you were just another guy, your absence challenges that story. It pokes at it, because women don't like not knowing. They don't like uncertainty. And the moment she can't predict you anymore, you become interesting again. That is how curiosity is born, not from noise, but from mystery. Curiosity makes her look at things she ignored before, small windows into your life that suddenly feel important. She checks your social media, notices who likes your pictures, pays attention to who you follow, watches if you view her stories, tracks how often you're online. And don't think this is random. It's her way of building a picture, piece by piece, because every move you make now matters, even when you say nothing. And here's the key. She does all of this quietly. She won't show it. She won't admit it. She won't ask you. Pride keeps her calm on the surface while curiosity works underneath. And be aware, if you look focused, happy, or busy, curiosity grows. If you're improving, working out, sharpening your skills, socializing, building your life, curiosity turns into questions she can't ignore. Why does he look better now? Why does he seem happier without me? Why didn't he fall apart? And that is when your silence starts speaking louder than words. Because here's the truth you must understand. Many women expect men to chase, to crumble, to come back, to prove they still care. They expect the door to stay open, the light to stay on. But when you don't, when you stand steady, you become unpredictable. and unpredictability pulls attention. Don't chase chaos. Be grounded. Be consistent. Be strong in your direction, because a high-value man doesn't rush to be noticed. He builds a life worth noticing, and that quiet confidence carries masculine energy, not loud, not flashy, just firm. And when she sees that you are not spinning in circles, not begging for a reaction, curiosity tightens its grip, because she can't read you anymore, and not being able to read you makes her want to try. Curiosity also invites comparison, and this is where it gets personal. She starts comparing herself to other women you interact with, wondering, are they prettier, smarter, kinder, more feminine? Not because she suddenly feels small, but because she's measuring her place in your world, and, be honest, even if she wasn't fully committed, she still enjoyed the attention. It mattered to her more than she let on. So when that attention disappears, she needs to know why. That is human, not dramatic, and every new woman she sees around you feels like a question mark, like a test she didn't study for. And don't exploit this. Simply live your life well, because a high-value man attracts curiosity without trying to attract women. He just becomes the kind of man women want to know more about. Some women test a situation, not with words, but with signals, posting certain pictures, choosing certain captions, sharing moments designed to be seen, hoping to spark a reaction, not because she's moving on, but because she wants to see if you still care, if you're still watching, if you're still there. And be wise. If you give no reaction, curiosity grows heavier. It sits with her longer, because now she has no feedback, no proof, no answer. And that silence stretches and stretches until it becomes a doorway, because curiosity is the doorway to missing you. And once she starts wondering about your life without her, your absence has already reached her heart. Don't confuse this with games. This is about understanding how attention works, how space creates contrast, how absence creates shape. Be steady, be respectful, be focused on your path, because when you improve, when you look calm and fulfilled, when you carry yourself with quiet masculine energy, you send a message without sending a word. And that is powerful, not because it manipulates, but because it reflects self-worth. And a high-value man doesn't disappear to punish. He steps back to protect his direction. And in doing so, he naturally attracts women who sense that strength. You must remember, curiosity grows when she sees you didn't fall apart, when your life didn't shrink, when your light didn't go out. It grows when she realizes you didn't need the noise to stay whole. And don't rush to break the silence just to ease it. Sometimes silence is the lesson, because in that quiet, she learns that your attention is not guaranteed, that your presence is chosen, not automatic, and that is when respect begins to bloom. Be the man who builds, not the man who waits. Be the one who invests in his health, his goals, his friendships, his purpose. Because when she sees you leveling up, curiosity sharpens into interest, and interest opens the door to connection again. And this is how you attract women without chasing them, by becoming someone whose life speaks for itself, someone who carries masculine energy in the way he moves, decides, and stands still when needed. And here's the final truth: when a woman starts asking, "What is he doing without me?" she is no longer focused on what you did for her. She's focused on who you are without her. And that shift is everything, because now you're not just a memory, you're a mystery, not just a presence, but a question. And don't underestimate the power of being the question. Be the man worth wondering about. Be the man who knows his value. Be the high-value man who understands that curiosity is not the end. It's the bridge. And when she steps onto that bridge, your absence has already done its work. 3. Doubt. Did I make a mistake? When a woman feels your absence, doubt is the battlefield. This is where your true strength is tested. Because once the noise fades and the curiosity settles, a deeper question rises in her mind. Did I make a mistake? And understand this clearly, she is no longer judging you. She is judging herself. Because when you were present, steady, consistent, giving your time and attention, she felt safe. She believed there was no rush. She believed you would always be there. And your silence shatters that illusion, forcing her to look inward, replaying conversations, rereading the last messages, remembering the moments she delayed, the moments she held back, the moments she did not value what was in front of her. Now she sees the effort you gave that she accepted as normal, the energy you brought that is suddenly gone. And in that quiet space, she realizes a hard truth. You were an asset in her life, not a weight. Because if you did not matter, there would be no doubt, no questions. She would simply move on. But doubt means value. Doubt means impact. Doubt means you left a mark. This is not about revenge or games. This is about self-respect. This is about living by old Stoic wisdom in a modern world that rewards noise but respects silence. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Your absence, calm and controlled, is not punishment. It is discipline. It is the iron mind choosing peace over chaos. And in that silence, her thoughts grow louder. Was I too distant? Did I push him away? Why did he stop trying? Did I misjudge his worth? As time passes, she starts comparing, because comparison is the mirror that reveals what was taken for granted. Maybe other men are inconsistent. Maybe they lack follow-through. Maybe they speak big but act small. Maybe they want only something temporary. And with every flaw she sees, your memory rises higher, not because you changed, but because clarity arrived too late. With clarity comes fear, fear of losing something real, fear of being replaced, fear of waking up to a life where there is no second chance. That fear tightens when she realizes the man she thought would always stay now looks like a man who can build a better life without her. Nobody enjoys seeing value walk away. Nobody enjoys knowing someone else may benefit from what they once overlooked. And this is the turning point, the moment when your absence stops being background noise and becomes a consequence. Here is your instruction, simple and firm. Do not break your frame. Do not rush to explain. Do not chase validation, because strength grows in stillness. As Seneca taught, he who is brave is free. And freedom is choosing your path without begging anyone to walk it with you. In today's world of instant texts, seen receipts, and endless scrolling, silence stands out. Silence shows control. Silence tells her you are not ruled by impulse. You are guided by purpose. This is Stoicism's win in action, not in words. Use this moment to sharpen yourself, build your body, focus your work, deepen your values, invest in your craft. Whether she returns or not is secondary. Your mission is primary. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Define the man you choose to be, then live it daily, with no excuses. Your iron mind becomes your signature. Your calm becomes your language. Your progress becomes your message. Repeat this to yourself. Absence creates reflection. Reflection reveals value. Value commands respect. The goal is not to make her doubt. The goal is to make yourself unshakable. A man who knows that if she sees your worth again, it is because you never stop seeing it in yourself. And if she does not, you still win. Because Stoicism wins by mastering your response, not controlling the outcome. As Theodore Roosevelt said, do what you can with what you have, where you are. So do it now. Stand firm. Walk forward. Keep your standards high, your emotions steady, your vision clear. This is your instruction. Build the iron mind, live the old Stoic wisdom, claim the Stoicism win, and master your life. If this message resonated with you and reminded you of your value, take a second to like this video, share it with a man who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more mindset and life wisdom. Now interact with the channel and lock this lesson into your mind. Comment below this affirmation to remember who you are. My absence reveals my value, and I walk forward with self-respect. Write it in the comments, own it, and let the world know you understand your worth. 4. Jealousy. Who has his attention? Jealousy begins the moment your presence fades, when silence replaces the steady rhythm of your attention. That is when a quiet question starts echoing in her mind. Who has him now? After doubt settles in, competition slips in softly, not with noise, but with imagination. And even if she never shows it, even if she never says a word, inside she feels the tension of being compared. Because when you were there, When you were consistent, she felt safe. She believed your interest was locked in. But when you go quiet, she starts building stories she doesn't like. Is he talking to someone else? Is another woman giving him what I didn't? Does someone else have his focus now? Here is where female psychology reveals itself in a way most men miss. Women are deeply sensitive to the idea of being replaced, especially by another woman, not out of drama, but out of meaning. Attention equals value. And even if she acted distant, even if she looked calm, she still liked knowing she mattered to you. So your absence shakes that sense of security. And jealousy doesn't need to shout. It whispers, it watches, it waits, it becomes internal. She looks more closely at who comments on your posts. She notices new faces in your pictures. She tracks which women react to you. She studies how you carry yourself. And even a simple photo of you out with friends can stir something, not because of what she sees, but because of what she cannot know. Uncertainty is uncomfortable. Losing control is worse. So jealousy becomes that quiet emotional alarm saying, he might be moving on. Don't underestimate this moment. What many men fail to see is that jealousy is often the first clear sign of emotional attachment. If she didn't care, she wouldn't check. She wouldn't look. She wouldn't compare. The moment you became unavailable, your value rose in her eyes. Be aware if she sees you improving, working out, leveling up, dressing sharper, smiling more, living better, that feeling grows stronger. Because now other women noticing you becomes a real threat, not to her pride, but to her sense of missed opportunity. She doesn't want someone else enjoying the version of you she might have overlooked. This is where psychology comes into play. Not games, but the natural human response to scarcity and value. Sometimes jealousy pushes her to compete in silence. She posts better pictures. She shows happier moments. She looks more radiant, not to move on, but to make you react. She wants to know she still matters. That is the heart of it. Women want to feel significant, seen, chosen. If you ignore it, jealousy deepens. If you stay unbothered, it becomes heavier. And now a new fear appears, one she never prepared for. You might not be coming back. When that thought lands, she realizes something she never admitted before. She thought you were hers, even if she never chose you, even if she never said it. Now that someone else could receive your energy, your loyalty, your effort, your attention, she finally feels what absence really means. Understand this clearly. Nothing reveals your value faster than the fear of someone else having what was once taken for granted. This is why understanding female psychology matters, not to control, but to see clearly. When you disappear with purpose, when you stop chasing and start building, when you respect yourself enough to walk forward, her mind fills the space with questions. Questions create emotion. Emotion creates attachment. Don't confuse silence with indifference. Silence often speaks louder than words because it forces reflection. Reflection brings back every moment she felt wanted, every time she felt special, every time she knew she had your focus. Now she wonders if another woman feels that instead. This is how attraction grows quietly, not through pressure, not through begging, but through becoming a man whose absence is felt, whose growth is visible, whose life looks full even without her. Be real. Nobody wants to lose a place in a story that suddenly looks exciting. When she sees you moving forward, improving, enjoying your life, her mind connects the dots. Maybe I misjudged him. Maybe I should have valued him more. Maybe I still care. Jealousy turns into awareness. Awareness into longing. Longing into emotional pull. Don't rush to break that spell. The goal is not revenge. The goal is respect. The goal is to become the version of yourself that naturally inspires curiosity and desire. That is how female psychology works at its core. It responds to meaning, to growth, to confidence that doesn't need to shout. When you embody that, you no longer chase reactions. They come to you. Your life speaks for you. Remember this, jealousy is not about anger. It's about fear. Fear of loss, fear of being replaced, fear of missing out on something valuable. And when that fear appears, it proves one thing clearly. You mattered more than she ever admitted. Understanding psychology is not manipulation. It's recognizing patterns, respecting yourself, and letting human nature do what it does. If you want to know how to create attraction without forcing it, without pressure, without losing your dignity, don't try to convince, don't try to chase. Be present when it matters. Be gone when it doesn't. Build a life that looks strong and meaningful. Let the space you leave behind do the work. Because in that space, her thoughts grow louder, her feelings grow clearer, and your value becomes undeniable. That is the quiet power behind absence, the lesson hidden in female psychology, and the reason jealousy, when it appears, is not a threat, but a signal that your presence once meant something real, and your absence now means even more. 5. Regret. I should have treated him differently. That thought arrives when silence starts to feel heavy, when the space you left behind is no longer empty, but loud. Because at first, she tells herself your distance is temporary. Then she decides you are just busy. Then she assumes you will come back because that is what most men do. They circle back, they explain, they chase, they ask for another chance, but when time passes and you remain calm, focused, and gone, when your life keeps moving without noise, she begins to see something she never expected. She may have made a real mistake. Be clear, this is not about drama. That is about awareness. In the quiet, she starts replaying every moment she dismissed you, ignored you, or took advantage of your effort, and those scenes that once felt small now feel sharp because there is no reassurance waiting at the end that you are coming back. She remembers the times you cared and she didn't respond, the times you tried and she gave nothing back, the messages she delayed, the warmth she didn't return, the moments she chose comfort over connection, and now every small decision feels bigger, heavier, clearer, because silence gives memory a stage. Don't underestimate that. Silence does not erase. Silence reveals, and regret starts to sound like this inside her mind. I should have appreciated him more. He actually tried with me. He wasn't like other guys. He cared and I pushed him away. Why did I treat him like that? These are not random thoughts. That is reflection. That is her finally seeing what was in front of her when it is no longer there. A woman does not regret a man who gave nothing. She regrets a man who gave more than she expected and then walked away with self-respect. Be that man. That is the difference. Your absence makes something clear to her that words never could. You were not giving attention because you needed her. You were giving it because you cared. And now that it is gone, the truth hits harder than any argument ever would. Your love was not guaranteed. Your loyalty was not automatic. Your presence was not permanent. You must let that sink in. When you stop offering what once came freely, people finally measure its value. Regret also changes how she sees other men. Suddenly, they are not as attentive, not as consistent, not as caring. The texts feel flat, the interest feels rushed, the effort feels thin, and without meaning to, she starts comparing. One moment turns into another, and every comparison quietly leads back to you. That is not because you were perfect, that is because you were real. You showed up, you tried, you stood steady, and now, in the absence of that energy, the contrast becomes obvious. Be aware, contrast creates clarity. If she sees other women noticing you, liking your posts, smiling around you, regret grows stronger. Not because you belong to her, but because you could belong to someone else who appreciates you more. That thought lands deep. That thought says, I might have lost something rare. And here is where the idea of a high-value man becomes real, not as a label, but as a presence. A man who knows when to step back, a man who keeps his standards, a man whose life does not pause when someone else does. That kind of man does not have to beg to attract women. His direction does the work. His calm does the work. His masculine energy speaks without shouting. This is often when she starts thinking about reaching out. A simple hey, a random emoji, a memory, a song, a picture. It is never accidental. It is her checking the door, seeing if it is still open. That door becomes a metaphor in her mind. Is there still a way back? Is there still space for me? Will he respond like before? Don't rush to open it. Don't slam it either. Be steady. That is the test. because what she is really asking is not for a reply. She is asking if your value is still there, if your presence is still available, if the man she overlooked is still waiting. But here is the key. Regret only exists because your absence created space for reflection. You did not beg, you did not explain, you did not prove your worth, you just stepped back. And silence did what words never could. That is power, quiet power. You must understand this. The moment you stop trying to convince someone of your value, you allow them to discover it on their own. And discovery lasts longer than persuasion. A woman regrets losing a man when she realizes the effort she ignored is no longer available. That is when the weight hits, not when you leave, but when she sees you are not coming back the same way, not with the same open hands, not with the same endless patience. Be firm, be kind, be gone if you must, because a high-value man does not trade his self-respect for a little attention. He chooses growth, he chooses peace, he chooses direction. And that choice alone is what begins to attract women who see more than comfort, who see purpose. This is where masculine energy shows its true face, not in force, not in control, but in steadiness, in knowing who you are, in building your life whether someone claps or not, in waking up with a plan and sleeping with progress. That is what changes how people look at you. That is what makes your absence felt. That is what turns memories into mirrors for those who once took you lightly. Don't perform, don't posture, be consistent, be grounded. That is the signal. So if regret finds its way back to you through a message, a song, a memory, remember what created it. Not arguments, not speeches, not promises. Space did. Silence did. Your decision to step forward did. And that is the lesson. If you want to attract women who respect you, don't chase validation. Build value. If you want to be seen as a high-value man, don't announce it. Live it. And if you want your masculine energy to be felt, don't force it. Let your calm, your growth, and your direction speak. That is the truth behind regret. It is not about what she lost in you. It is about what she discovered in herself when you were no longer there to carry the weight. Be proud of that. Be steady in that. You must keep walking. Because sometimes the strongest answer you will ever give is the life you build after you leave. 6. Missing you. Why does it feel empty without him? When you step away in calm, when you choose silence over noise, when you stop explaining yourself and start living, something powerful begins to happen in her mind. Because absence is not empty. Absence is loud. This is old Stoic wisdom in action, the kind Marcus Aurelius meant when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And that strength is what she feels when you are gone. Not your words, not your promises, but your steadiness, your warmth, your consistency, the way your presence once made her feel safe in a world that never slows down, a world of buzzing phones, endless messages, and shallow attention. Now that you are no longer there, she notices the gaps. She reaches for her phone at the hours you used to text. She pauses at moments when your voice used to ground her. She feels the quiet grow heavier, not because you vanished in anger or drama, but because you left with discipline, with peace, with self-respect. That calm departure sends a message stronger than any argument ever could. My life moves forward with or without you. That is the moment your value rises. As Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And freedom is attractive. Freedom creates gravity. Freedom makes her realize you are not waiting, not chasing, not stuck. You are building. You are moving. You are becoming. This is where psychology works in your favor. People don't miss what begs. They miss what stands tall and walks away with an iron mind. An iron mind that refuses to be pulled back by doubt, that refuses to crumble under nostalgia, that knows its direction. Understand this clearly. Women don't miss a man first. They miss how he made them feel, the comfort, the reassurance, the sense that someone truly saw them in a distracted age. When that disappears, even small things grow loud. The silence in the morning, the quiet nights, the empty spaces in songs and places that once carried your presence. Suddenly, the good memories push forward and the flaws fade back. Absence edits the story in your favor. Pride softens. She types a message, deletes it, rewrites it, deletes it again. She checks your profile. She hopes you'll reach out, but you don't, because you are practicing old Stoic wisdom again, choosing control over impulse, choosing character over comfort. As Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. So you become the man who does not react, who does not chase, who does not seek validation. This is how Stoicism wins becomes more than a phrase. It becomes a lifestyle. Stoicism wins in how you handle loss. Stoicism wins in how you handle silence. Stoicism wins in how you turn absence into power. In modern life, where everyone is available at a tap, being unavailable by choice is strength. Being unreachable because you are focused is strength. Being silent because you are disciplined is strength. That strength creates respect. Respect fuels longing. Longing deepens into realization. He might be gone for real. That truth hits deeper than any emotional speech ever could. As Maya Angelou said, people will never forget how you made them feel. Now she feels the lack of you everywhere. In her quieter phone, in her longer nights, in days that feel less charged. She starts thinking not about what went wrong, but about what you meant, how you listened, how you tried, how you believed in her. That is when your absence becomes your loudest statement, because you didn't leave to prove a point. You left to protect your path. Here is your instruction, man to man. Do not break the silence. Do not rush back. Do not explain yourself. Build your life so fully that your days are packed with purpose. Train your body, sharpen your skills, strengthen your circle, guard your time. Nothing is more attractive than a man in motion. A man with an iron mind who knows where he is going. Remember this again. Old Stoic wisdom teaches you don't control others. You control yourself. Master yourself. Master your reactions. Master your habits. And you master life. When you do, you create a victory within that no one can take. Your goal is not to be missed. Your goal is to be undeniable. So grounded that whether she returns or not, you win. Because the real win is not her message. The real win is your growth, your peace, your direction. This is how you turn absence into power, silence into strength, and loss into fuel. This is how you rise in a world that tries to pull men down. This is how you live with purpose. This is how you move forward, calm, focused, unstoppable, with an iron mind guiding every step. That is the path of a man who chooses discipline, chooses clarity, chooses to build, and chooses to win. If this message resonated with you, hit the like button, share it with someone who needs this perspective, and subscribe for more powerful insights on growth, discipline, and self-mastery. To lock this mindset in, comment the affirmation below and make it yours. I move forward in peace and my silence speaks with strength. Write it in the comments. Let it remind you that your calm, your discipline, and your focus on your own path are what raise your value. 6. Missing you. Why does it feel empty without him? 7. Wanting you back. Is the door still open? 7 is the moment many men never expect, the quiet turn where she begins wanting you back and asking herself, is the door still open? Because after confusion, curiosity, doubt, jealousy, regret, and missing you, the noise fades and feeling takes over. Your absence doesn't just make her think, it makes her feel deep and steady, until a question she never cared about before starts knocking in her mind. Could I get him back if I tried? Would he still want me? Did I wait too long? That is when pride loses its grip. The silence she once brushed aside now aches. The distance that felt safe now feels cold. And the man she assumed would always be there suddenly doesn't look guaranteed anymore. So she imagines life with you again, not because she's bored, not because she wants applause, but because she finally sees what you brought that others didn't. Consistency when life shook. Stability when days were messy. Loyalty when choices were easy. Support when she was tired. Real care when no one was watching. Those qualities don't shout when you're present. They echo when you're gone. So she reaches out carefully, testing the water like someone touching a river in winter. liking an old picture, watching every story, replying to something small, sending a casual, just checking on you, pretending she has a question, bringing up a memory that still carries warmth. If you answer warmly, she steps closer. If you answer coldly, she feels the ground shift because now she's not fully in control. At the same time, she starts fixing things quietly, not with speeches but with actions, trying to look better, posting with more thought, acting sweeter, showing more respect, more patience. Because she doesn't want to lose you twice. And here is where most men stumble. They rush back in. They flood her with attention. They treat her return like a prize. They give away their calm because she finally noticed. Don't do that. Don't jump. Don't chase. Don't pour your emotions at her feet. Be steady. Be grounded. Be the man who protects his peace, because if she truly wants you back, her effort will be clear. Not hints, not crumbs, not tiny sparks of attention, but real effort, real consistency, real communication. If she won't give that, then she only missed the feeling of being seen, not you. That is the hard truth. Your absence revealed her feelings. Her actions reveal her intentions. This is where understanding female psychology matters. Not to play games, but to see clearly, to read the space between words, to notice patterns instead of promises. When a woman truly feels your absence, she doesn't just miss you, she's willing to earn her place back. And you must decide from strength, not from hunger, because strength is quiet, strength is patient. Strength says, show me, and waits. Yes, there are psychology tricks people talk about, but don't twist them into tools for control. Use them as mirrors, ways to understand how emotions rise when presence is removed, how value becomes visible in distance, how the heart starts asking questions the mind ignored. In that space, she may start wondering how to fall in love again, not in a movie way, but in the real way built on trust and effort. Remember this, don't be dazzled by sudden sweetness. Don't be moved by a few warm messages. Don't confuse curiosity with commitment. Be clear, be calm, be respectful to yourself. A wise man doesn't punish, and he doesn't beg. He simply stands where he is and lets truth walk toward him. If she comes back with sincerity, maturity, and effort, you have a choice, a real one, to open the door or keep it closed. But if she returns only because her pride feels touched, your answer is silence, not to hurt, but to protect. Peace is precious. The man who understands female psychology knows that love grows where effort lives, not where attention is borrowed. And the man who sees through shallow psychology tricks chooses depth instead, choosing clarity over confusion, choosing steady ground over emotional storms. When you do that, you stop asking how to fall in love with anyone who knocks. You start letting love find you where you already stand, solid, calm, and ready. That is the power your absence created, and that is the power you must keep. Hey friends, thanks for watching till the end. Remember, real strength isn't about playing games. It's about knowing your worth and staying calm when things get quiet. If someone values you, they'll feel your absence. If not, you've still gained clarity. My honest advice, don't chase, don't beg, and don't hold anger. Focus on becoming better, keep your standards high, and let your actions speak for you. The right person will respect you for it. Stay strong, stay kind, and I'll see you in the next video.